As investors, business owners, and professionals, we are constantly looking for the next strategy, the next opportunity, or the next piece of information that will help us get to the next level. But what if the thing holding us back isn't a lack of knowledge? What if the real challenge isn't finding a better strategy, but understanding what it is that's preventing us from fully executing the strategy that we already have? If you've ever found yourself procrastinating on an issue or an important decision, avoiding a difficult conversation, struggling to take action, or wondering why you're not making progress that you know you're capable of making, then today's conversation is for you. So, welcome to Steve Couper's podcast for real estate investors. In each episode, I look to bring industry professionals and subject matter experts to share their insights and experiences. My guest today is Julia Zoger, a high performance hypno-coach and mindset strategist who helps business leaders, entrepreneurs, professionals, and investors uncover the subconscious beliefs, blind spots, and internal patterns that influence performance, leadership, and decision making. So, what makes Julia unique is her ability to blend a background in science, business, and personal transformations together. With a background in chemical engineering, an MBA in entrepreneurship, and years of experience working with executives and high performers, she brings both analytical precision and deep insight into how people think, behave, and ultimately succeed. Now, you may recognize Julia as a repeat guest on this show. She's joined us previously to discuss hypno-coaching and the science behind it. What I want to do today is take that conversation a step further. So we're going to explore why smart people often stay stuck, how the subconscious beliefs and experiences in our past continue to shape the results of our present, and why the answers to better performance may not be another strategy at all. It may be simply identifying what it is that's holding us back. So please say hello to Julia, and Julia, please say hello and welcome back to Steve Couper's podcast.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me back. Such a pleasure and honor to be here. And thank you for such a nice presentation, Steve.
Oh, thank
Appreciate
you for joining
it.
us. So let's get right into it. Julia, you work with successful executives, business owners, and investors. And from the outside, many of them appear to have it all together. But, what are the struggles you're finding that they're dealing with that nobody else really sees?
Yes,
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's episode, the Savvy Investor. One thing I've learned in my real estate journey is that success isn't just about finding great deals. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people, the right education, and the right support network. And that's exactly what Savvy Squad provides. Whether you are just getting started or already building a portfolio, you'll gain access to weekly live coaching, expert guest presenters, deal analyzers, training resources, market updates, and a community of like-minded investors who are all working toward exactly the same goal as you, financial freedom through real estate. So right now, if you scan this QR code, you can take advantage of a 14-day free trial and a special membership rate of $147 a month. Now, that's a savings of over $600 off your membership. So check out Savvy Squad today and see how far the right community can take you. And now, let's get on with the
Nobody
show.
else really sees.
yes, that's true. That's one of the biggest misconceptions that successful people do not struggle. But what I've discovered that the higher someone climbs, the lonelier and the heavier things often become. Many entrepreneurs, executives, high performers wake up in the middle of the night thinking about decision, carrying the responsibility for employees, clients, investors, family. So from outside, it seems like success for other people, but behind the scenes, they often might experience chronic stress, decision fatigue, self-doubt, fear making wrong move, or pressure to have all the answers.
Yeah.
So yeah, many tell like I've achieved things once I dreamt about, by why do I still feel stuck, overwhelmed, or disconnected? And that question usually signals that the issue is no longer external and something deeper is asking for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That resonates. I understand that one well. Why? Okay. Why do you think then that smart people, capable people, often know exactly what they should be doing, but don't take the action? They fail to move. What's that all about?
Yeah, this is one of most fascinating things that I noticed. Most people don't have an information problem. They have an internal conflict. Part of the growth they want to achieve, but one part of their brain, of their entity, but the other one wants safety. So, for example, some may say, I want to grow my business, but underneath there might be a fear of visibility, criticism, fear of rejection, fear of failure. And the conscious mind says, go, but the subconscious mind says, stay safe.
Yeah.
And when those two forces conflict, procrastination appears, for example. Most people think that they are lazy, but they're not. They often protecting themselves from something that they haven't identified yet.
Most people think they're lazy, but they're not. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's refreshing. So now it's an opportunity for people that have been procrastinating to say, "Hey, how do I get out of this? How do I stop self-sabotaging myself?" I love that. Um, Many people tend to look for explanations outside of themselves when things aren't going according to plan. They might blame the market, a difficult coworker, or unreliable business partner or boss, the economy. Um, or anything beyond their control for the reason why things aren't working well. So while those factors may certainly be real, how can someone tell the difference between something that's a legitimate business problem and a mindset problem that's showing up as a business problem? How do you know what's which way to focus?
That's a good question. So what I do, I usually invite my clients and ask that to think about, if I would give you a perfect strategy today, would you consistently execute on it right away? And if the answer is hesitation or yes, but, then we probably are looking at something that internal challenge for them. They kind of may blame the market, the timing, the circumstances, the competition, but the sometimes the real obstacle is might be perfectionism, or maybe any sort of fear or lack of confidence, or unconscious pattern influencing their decisions. So the external problem gets attention, the internal problem keeps repeating.
I work with someone who told me something a long time ago, and I see it come up over and over again. He said, "Don't let perfection stand in the way of progress."
Yes.
And he,
Yes.
so here we
Sometimes
go.
it's better done than perfect, right?
Sometimes better done than
And
perfect.
the path, like the way, you can only discover the way when you go. Because we've been preconditioned and told that doing mistakes is bad, right? During our conventional education, we were marked. So having a mistake, you receive a bad mark. So our brain was conditioned that mistakes are wrong. So there is a perfectionism may come from there as well.
Yeah.
So apparently mistakes are good, right? Because those are the milestones of our learning and pro- progressing.
It's true, right? That's without making mistakes, we don't learn anywhere near as quickly. So it's for
Yep.
sure. And somebody else, another famous quote from one of our friends: "With no action, there is no action." Right? If you so you need to take action in order to get things done. There's no doubt about it. Um, Tell me something. Have you ever worked with someone who appeared to be successful on paper but was unknowingly sabotaging their own growth? Do you have any examples of that?
Yes, absolutely. Those are most of my clients, apparently,
Okay.
but I can talk maybe about one of the examples. So I worked with a business owner who is intelligent, ambitious, and has already achieved the level of success that many people would admire.
Mm.
Yet every time major opportunity appeared, he would delay decision, over analyzing, and miss the momentum. Initially, he thought that the strategy is the problem. But what we discovered was he carried a deep fear of making mistakes. And as a result, he has trained himself to seek for the certainty before taking any action. So the breakthrough was the learning, not another business technique. It was about recognizing the pattern. And once he understood, it worked.
I wonder if that's something that happens the more successful you are, the more caution you actually exercise. And yet when you're young and starting out, you're brave and ready to actually take action. And but as your success grows, you're afraid of actually having to go backwards. I don't know. Your thoughts on that?
It's again talking about the brain preconditioning. So the more our brain, from making mistakes, experience some suffering, so it subconsciously pre-records us to prevent doing this again.
Maybe that's it, right? Maybe that's it. So you work with leaders every day. What do you think separates the leaders who continue growing and those who plateau? What is it that differentiates these leaders?
Self-awareness.
Oh,
The leaders, yeah, who continue growing are willing to question themselves. Like they ask, what am I not seeing? What assumption am I making? Or what role am I playing in creating the result? And the leaders who plateau, they often keep seeking for external answers and avoiding the internal reflection.
hmm. Internal reflection is so important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Say we practice something in Lean that's called Hansei, or reflection. At the end of every project, or for that matter, every day, have a look back on the day and see what worked well and what didn't. And from those memories and from this recanting of that experience, you get an opportunity to try and implement some kind of different approach tomorrow. Make
Yeah.
sure that the projects always are improving.
So people looking for confidence, or they may look for motivation, and to choose is the main breakthrough is clarity.
Mm.
So when they have clarity, they understand their patterns, spots, and internal drivers. Everything starts making sense, and decision making becomes easier. Relationship improve, leadership improves. They stop fighting themselves, and they just, many clients say like, I finally understand why I've been stuck. And from that place, they can move forward with a greater confidence and purpose.
You mentioned self-reflection. What do you think is the most common subconscious belief that's quietly holding people back then? Like, let's talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah. So what usually happens, clients come with something that they think that holds them back. But if we dig deeper, what we discover, the most common subconscious beliefs, I'm not enough, the imposter syndrome. So you can see the accomplished, high performing professionals, but still sabotaging themselves. And they continue doing, but the internal dialogue is very self damaging, let's say. I'm not enough, fear of failure or screwing up, fear of being exposed, again talking about imposter syndrome. So those are the most popular uh, patterns that we carry at our subconscious level.
I think that a lot of people are suffering with that. What are some signs that people should consider that fear might be driving our decisions, even though we think we're being logical? What do you think? How do we know it's time to come and get some help?
When you feel like you've done a lot, you have achieved success, but still you do not feel fulfillment. So this is the sign where you either outgrow your identity, where it's time to recalculate the route and to look inwards and to see what is this, why I'm still chasing doing, and I kind of already achieved something that I was dreaming about previously, but still the level of satisfaction and fulfillment and the chasing and general maybe stress and overwhelm, uh, those are the signs that it's time to look inside. And you asked also about the signs.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it ties in with self-reflection, right? If you're feeling stuck or you're overwhelmed or frustrated despite all of the hard work you're doing, and maybe fear is what's holding you back.
Yeah. So external behavioral examine, that's what I mentioned,
Yeah.
right? What people do not notice, usually living a lot of in their thinking and rational mind, is how their body feel
Mm.
while doing this. So often we take our stress, overwhelm, and we carry it in our shoulders, so our body's stiff. And those will be the external physical signs when your body starts to give you signals that something misaligned, and you probably overusing and being too much into your mental state, ignoring your physical and emotional state.
When you're coming home from work and you're exhausted and all cramped up, then that's a sign that you actually internalizing too much. Cool. Question for you. For somebody who's never worked with a hypno-coach before, what kind of transformation is actually possible when they come see you, when they address what's happening beneath the surface? What can change for them?
It can change a lot, and transformation can happen immediately at every single session. Think about the onion. We remove layer by layer, but the outcome that you will receive, it will be physically, you will feel lighter. This is what usually my clients say, like, I feel like I removed the weight from my shoulders. Mentally, you will feel clarity, so you will see the action will be easier to take, because often we have this when we at any challenge we struggle, so the entire picture looks like a mess. You do not understand what string to pull first, so you can unwind all this thought process and all the problems that you have. But after the work with hypno-coach, you start to understand what is the first string to pull and the clarity of the actions, and the internal resistance and sabotage disappears. So it's easier just to take action on what you have already know that you have to do, because it's never about the strategy, knowledge, or information. It's mostly about what is it you are not seeing, you're not aware about. What are your blind spots that subconsciously tell you the story why it's not safe to do what you know that you have to. Does
I
it
think,
answer your question?
yeah, it does. It does. It's really, um, I think that there's such tremendous opportunity here. Julia, if somebody listening today has been following through these questions and sees themselves in some of the situations we've talked about, um, and realizes maybe they've been carrying one of those hidden barriers along. What is the best way for them to contact you and see what the next steps might be?
Yes, sure. So if you feel like your business is outgrowing your identity,
Mm.
and if anything that we've discussed here resonates with you, first of all, I would simply become curious and ask yourself what pattern might be influencing my results that I haven't noticed yet. And this is often where the transformation begins. And afterwards, you can definitely connect with me through my website. I'm on every social media. And I would be happy to start conversation about where you are, where you want to go, and what is potentially standing in the way.
I think that you bring a tremendous service. So many of us find ourselves standing in our own way without even realizing it. It would be wonderful to actually see us being able to get beyond that, right? Um,
Yeah.
Julia, I've asked you so many questions today. Are there any things that you wanted to say that we haven't discussed?
Um, just in general, I would say first thing, people often have a fear of unknown and uncertainty. And this is our constant state. There is nothing more constant in our life than uncertainty and unknown. And this is the most curious and fascinating part of our life because if we would know everything, it would be boring. So I want to invite you just jump into unknown, jump into the fear because it's scary and unknown. Uh, Ask question about what you do not know about yourself. Go to the unknown because this is the most wonderful and the most important thing that we can do in our life. Just grow and every day be a little bit better version of ourselves.
I love it. I love it. Julia, I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I'd love to hear you tell me now, a year later after the first time we had our interview, why are you doing what you're doing?
For me, it's my life purpose and my fulfillment. And this is what made me shift from being a chemical engineer into helping to people, because what can be more fulfilling than changing people's life and making uh, through other people our entire world a happier and more whole uh, place to live.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you so much for coming back to Steve Cooper's podcast. It's been a true pleasure today to have you on the show. I look forward to hearing more about your amazing journey.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. Appreciate it.